Welcome to Tesla Info, and today we're going to look at the Tesla Model X. We're going to cover its history and provide a buyer's guide to cover the things you need to know. The Model X was originally announced in February 2012 alongside the Model S, the Model X even sharing a similar pre-facelift front. Initial deliveries were also expected from late 2013, with production set to ramp up in 2014. We know that didn't happen, and we had to wait until October 2015 when the car was launched again. The car was launched in 2015 as a 90D and a P90D, with Ludicrous as an option, which later became standard. In 2016 they introduced the 75D and a software locked version of that, the 60D. They also changed the P90D to a P100D. In 2017 they dropped the 90D for a 100D. In 2019, as part of the Raven changes, they changed the names to Standard Range, Long Range and Performance. When the 22 facelift came out, they changed these to just Long Range and Plaid. The seats have been available in a range of colours. There was a black cloth, a white tan colour, which some like and some really don't like, a cream option and a black option, and these have also varied from both leather in the early days to vegan options later on. There's also been a white option on the later cars. The dashboard trim used to be selectable, but that quickly became linked to the seat choice, as did the headlining. The car's been available in a number of seating configurations, but until 2016 the second row seats were non-folding on the 5 and 7 seat model. You can see the difference by looking at the side of the seats. The second row of seats on the 6 seat configuration don't fold on any model. The trunk, or boot space as we call it in the UK, is quite cavernous with some underfloor storage. The third row of seats also fold on all models that have them. They're also split folding, so it gives you a number of different permutations for storing luggage and maintaining as many seats as possible. There have been a number of different wheel choices over the years. The main two are the original 20 and 22 inch wheels. There's also an Onyx 22 inch wheel. The car has been available in all the usual Tesla colours: a deep blue metallic, a titanium metallic silver, midnight silver, a flat black, a slightly different black, a metallic black and an obsidian, a pearl white finish and a metallic silver, and the colour that many people like, the multicoat red. All but the earliest cars will have the Tesla AP hardware, the early cars having AP1. You can tell by the wing mirror camera. Free transferable supercharging was also available on some of the earliest cars until it was phased out in April 2017. We've got a video on this topic if you're looking for more information on how to tell whether a car has it or not. In 2017, the 75D became uncorkable, which boosted performance. Most 75Ds could have this done, and most would have had it done by now. 2017 also saw the end of the active spoiler on the Model X. In 2018, the MCU was upgraded to a faster version, and around the same time the bezel changed to a smoked grey colour from silver. The AP hardware was also upgraded, which has happened every few years. The changes to the MCU and AP, coupled with a number of software changes, also introduced dashcam and sentry modes. These have limited features on the lower spec or earlier cars. In 2018, the tow bar became standard. It was an option up until that point. Also in 2018, options such as the cold weather or sub-zero pack, the premium hi-fi and the premium interior started to become bundled into the standard build for the car. In 2019, Tesla changed AP. EAP was broken out into an AP feature with just basic lane change and speed keeping, which became standard on all cars, and EAP had the remaining features which weren't included, such as parking and summon. As a consequence, it's possible that an early Model X has no AP features activated at all. 2019 also saw the introduction of the Raven models, with the most notable change being the adaptive air suspension. There were tweaks to the motors allowing 1-foot braking and slight increases in performance and range. The naming convention also changed around this time to names rather than numbers, although interestingly the long range model was called the dual motor on the car. Also in 2019, CCS support became standard on EU and some other selected regions. This uses an adapter, and a retrofit was available for the earlier models. After that, in 2019 and 20, the main changes were the Hardware 3 upgrade and pedestrian warning speakers being added. Other changes were really just small tweaks to batteries and lots of software updates. Production finally stopping in 2020, with some cars still being sold in early 2021. In 2022, the new version was launched with a new interior with the yoke steering wheel and some other changes, including the tri-motor blade. If you're thinking of cheaper alternatives, then the Model Y isn't a bad shout. In 5-seat configuration, the interior space for passengers is actually quite similar. It's the front and the trunk space where the Model X really stands out. Range, well, between the Model Y and the Model X, are actually remarkably similar, between 300 and 350 miles depending on model. And even the performance is similar, with only the newer models being significantly quicker, about 1 second quicker to 60 on an equivalent performance to performance or long range to long range basis. We've actually done a detailed video covering the differences between the Model Y and the Model X, if that's an option that you're looking at. And now a quick look at the typical issues the car has. The first and probably the most significant is the MCU. On the MCU1 cars from 2018 and before, this could fail with the eMMC memory fail, although Tesla do extend the warranty on this and can fix it. The second issue is it's just getting slow now with the software that Tesla are trying to do, and some features like Sentry Mode and Dashcam have limited functionality based on that screen. It is, however, the good news is it's upgradable for about $1,500 to $2,000 depending on what other hardware you've got in the car. The other issue with the screen is you can get a yellowing border, and while Tesla have a fix for this, it's not great, although the newer screens seem to have this problem solved. The next issue is the heater matrix. This can fail repeatedly, usually around autumn time, just as it's starting to be used more. It's £1,000 or dollars to fix and is surprisingly common. Next up, we have vibration from drive shafts. Again, it's another common problem, more noticeable on the higher performance models, but again something that can be an annoyance. Another pretty major problem is suspension failings, and interestingly it's rarely the actual air suspension that gives a problem. It tends to be the mechanical components, and maybe that's a reflection of the weight of the car. Last up, we've got water in the lights, which seems to be a common problem for any cars with LED lighting because there's no heat to evaporate the water. The water does bead eventually and can break the light. So what would be our pick? Well, we think the very early models have got probably too many gremlins in them, and warranty is out, so we'd probably stay away for those. Long range models, range is king, so we'd probably go for the 100D or the actual long range model when it was facelifted and became the Raven model. The performance models, again, we'd probably stay away from because while it's a big car, the extra performance is probably a bit over the top. So we think the smart money, if you can't afford or don't want one of the newer facelift models, would be either a late 100D with the MCU2 or a long range Raven model.